Stefan, thank you for joining us. Father of the Month for October 2022. My name's Eric. You know me, we go back a little while, but why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So my name's Stefan Brand. I'm 51 years old. I'm married, have 5 kids, 2 from my first marriage, 3 kids from my stepkids from my current marriage with my wonderful wife, Sharon. I am originally from Smithtown, Long Island, which is near New York City. And I came up here to Buffalo to go to school. I went to UB. I got a degree in pharmacy there. Worked for a bunch of years as a retail pharmacist, then got into retail pharmacy management, and then ultimately into managed care, which is what I do today. I work for a local insurance company, helping to manage a pharmacy benefit, which keeps me really busy. But along, it's been a good experience, and happy to be here today. I'm happy that you guys asked if I could be part of this program. So.
Yeah, so father of 5, right? I know, just from knowing you, I know you have 2 adult children.
Yeah.
But tell us about all of them, their ages and where they're at in life now.
So I have 2 great kids from my first marriage. The oldest is 23. He's an officer in the Army. He's in the 82nd Airborne, hardworking kid. It's a little scary sometimes, the stuff he has to do, but very proud of him. I have a 21-year-old daughter who's a senior in college now. She's studying art and sculpture, very artistic, and also a great athlete. Was very athletic in high school and was really involved with her at sports and stuff as she was younger. Was really involved with my son with scouts and sports and other things too when he was younger. And then I have 3 awesome step kids. They're in ages from 16, almost 17, to 11. The oldest is going to be she is a senior in high school this year, which is crazy. Goes by fast. She's a dancer, loves art, really interested in that sort of thing. The middle one is a boy. He's 14, loves sports, total diehard Bills fan, really into hockey and football, plays hockey. He's a ton of fun to hang around with and do stuff with. And then the youngest is 11, and she does dance, and she's still trying to figure out what all her other interests are. And she's in middle school, so right in that kind of little awkward age right now, but also a ton of fun. I'm just grateful to be a part of their lives, and their mom is awesome too, and it's really great in helping me with my relationship with them, which we have a pretty good relationship with all of them, I think.
Yeah, so you've made that transition from being a regular dad with just 2 of your own children, and now you're being a stepfather to others. So I love the fact that, you talked about all their different interests. So what are the kinds of things you do with them in order to, continue to bolster their interest in things and keep them occupied?
I just really try to encourage them. We both do. My wife does too. We really try to let them kind of find their interests and then try to encourage them along the way. It's much easier to kind of prompt a kid to see what they like and then encourage them than it is to tell them you have to do this or you have to do that. Because if you get them engaged and get them, working towards things that they want to do, it's just better for all around. It makes it easier. Just try to be there with them and go to their games, encourage them with their activities. I was a long-time scout leader with my son. My daughter played softball at a high level, so I was involved with the team, helping to coach and do conditioning with them. And now with my stepkids, supporting them in their interests. Like my oldest stepchild, she's very interested in art, and wants to get into art for a profession. And so taking her to museums and encouraging her in that, and developing a relationship with my middle stepchild. Like, he loves to kind of play golf. I recently introduced him to playing golf and taught him how to shoot a little bit of skeet and stuff like that. So just trying to find those things that they like and stay engaged with. He's a total football fan, which I'm a football fan too, but not to the extent. He could tell you every stat about every player at every team, but it's fun to watch games with him. And then with the youngest one, just, being there for her and her, with her school and homework and helping her, get to and from dance and that sort of stuff. So just being engaged with them and promoting what they want to do. That's healthy, the good things that they want to do, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. It sounds like you've got a little bit of the recipe already down, right? So find what they're interested in and show an interest in that and keep it going. So that's good. What do you enjoy most about being a father? I know that from knowing Nate, your oldest son, I know that you were very involved with the Boy Scouts as a scout leader and had him involved to the point he got his Eagle Scout. But you guys did a lot of stuff. So what do you enjoy most, whether it's with Nate or any of your other children? What do you enjoy most?
So
about being a
I just
father?
really, I love those aha moments, right? When you see something click in their head, like, oh, that was cool, and oh, wow, I did that, or I can do that, those sorts of things, like, I remember distinctly one time when my oldest son was playing video games and just was really into like, you know, that. And I was like, this is fun, and I know that's how you guys socialize and but like, if you want to play sports on a game console, well, let's play it in real life, right? Let's go play football. So he played, Pee Wee football, like, you want to like learn how to shoot. I learned how to shoot skeet and took him to shoot skeet and, grew that, skill with him, and then with my daughter, same kind of thing. Just, I love watching her play and getting them to learn, and I also liked being involved, with their teams and their organizations like Scouts and other things, because I like to be able to help other kids too. And it's great to see them grow and develop. And it also gave me the opportunity to like have other adults kind of, speak into their lives, because sometimes they need to hear it from, other people too that are, or have their best interest at heart and are skilled in an area that you might not be skilled in. I didn't know anything about softball, but she had some great coaches and I supported them in other ways. I helped them with conditioning and exercise, but I didn't know anything about softball. I couldn't coach to the game, but I could get them fit, So just finding that sort of stuff and those things were where I really enjoy the most and what I still enjoy doing those kinds of things with them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, and I just wanted to say again, thank you for participating in our fatherhood retreat, because we, in conjunction with Breaking Barriers, were there speaking into the lives of, like you said earlier, being a bunch of guys speaking into the lives of other young men. So what did you think about that experience?
It was a very moving experience for me. I kind of, work with a lot of kids in both in Scouts and sports teams and then, church and stuff like that, youth programs. And I just didn't have as much exposure to, kids of color and maybe that had difficult circumstances at home and things like that. I did, but differently, and, it was great to interact with those kids and just see how they're just awesome kids, but they just have, in some cases, maybe don't have a dad in their life or don't have access to everything that everybody else might have access to. And I just thought it's such an awesome program that these men come into their lives and mentor them and teach them, really, you have, so much potential to do whatever you want, but, it's getting the access to that learning and coaching and encouragement, and I just thought, I was so impressed by the organization and what those leaders in that organization are doing that, I thought it was a great program.
Yeah, for us, it's all about giving them hope, right? Hope for a future. In fact, that's the fatherhood theme for this year. It's being a hope giver, right? So let me ask you, what ways do you provide hope to your children?
I think it kind of goes back to that saying, when you see those kids have that aha moment, when you teach a kid that, I can do this, or they learn something for the first time and realize like they did it by themselves, I think that's the best way to give, kids hope. Like, just encourage them and get them to understand that they really are capable. Like, they can do so much and take the path that they want, right? And you can guide them on the right path, but also, teach them that, if you make the wrong decisions, you go down the wrong path, and that's not good either.
Right.
So, but the rewarding thing in the hope is just letting them see that for themselves, that they can achieve their goals. So I think that's really where it's at.
Got it. So why do you think fatherhood is so important? I mean, we spend a lot of time talking about this and getting men involved, right? So why would you think it's so important?
I just, I was blessed to have a great dad. My dad was very involved and he worked a ton of hours. He was a physical laborer. He was a stone and bricklayer, and You know, he had to work hard and he had to work long hours, but he always made time to like be there on scouting trips with me or sporting events with my brothers or myself. And, you know, and I saw it for myself then, you know, becoming a dad, that, you know, your kids really, you know, they look up to you and they learn from you, and they really, you know, need to feel that support and encouragement from you to succeed, right? And it just gives them an advantage if they have that kind of a relationship with their dad. You know, you really have a profound impact on your kids, and a lasting impact. And that could be a good impact or a bad impact. You know, so I think the more we can do to make that a positive impact on our kids by being a good dad and an involved dad, and, you know, someone that's like an advocate for their kids, that's the more we can do to encourage that, the better.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. So just to wrap it up, just tell us what you would think you'd say to a young dad who's now in your shoes, maybe approaching becoming a stepfather. What would you say to keep them encouraged and keep them involved?
You definitely get more out of it than you put in. I mean, it might feel like a lot of work up front, but, you know, later down the line, you know, that it's such a great moment to watch your kid graduate, or, you know, see my son, you know, in the service and, you know, serving our country, or, you know, watching my stepson score that goal playing hockey, you know, when it was really awkward for him when he first got on the ice, you know, or even just my younger daughter, like learning a math problem, you know, just figuring it out for herself. It is a lot of work, but, you know, the payoff is huge. And I think, you know, for all of us in general, it just is good for our society and our community, right, to be a good dad and to encourage growth, not just of your own kids, but, you know, all the kids.
Well said, well said. Well, thank you for joining us here today, and we'll just keep it short and sweet. Go Bills.
All right.